The walls are lined with books that are written by authors who are all well educated. Some have a background in academia, media, and are respected in their fields by those that watch and pursue their content. However, I would say that their lifestyles, some of their value systems, some of their morals are not in alignment with what I would like to advance in this world or what I would like to see my children grow up with in this world. And it's not uniformly. I mean, obviously, no two people are exactly alike, but there was definitely a leaning here that I did not feel was in alignment with, who I am. Now, it made me examine a couple things because the first thing being, what on earth made them think that I'd be a person that they would want on their shelves? Like, who did they think I was? And so I started asking some questions related to that. And I realized that they actually hadn't really consumed too much of my content, but they had an idea of who I was or who they thought I was. And that was what they were seeking to develop around content related to this book. So in so many words, they were seeking to have me write a book that they could use and leverage for their own personal value purposes and basically use and leverage my face, my brand, my gifting, frankly, in order to fit in a gap that was currently within the fold of their brand. And, that's the thing. I'm not even knocking the hustle. That is a total thing, is a total category. And for some people who are seeking fame at any cost, and people who are seeking popularity and the support of an engine and a machine behind them at any cost, it makes a lot of sense. It is a good move and it makes a lot of sense for them if they are willing to do it. However, I am very okay with receiving what I should have in God's time and not man's time. And I'm definitely not willing to compromise myself or lend my name to platforms where, at least especially not knowingly, where I feel like the cost is my legacy. It's just not worth it to me. There's no amount of money on this planet. I'd rather be broke. And people reveal themselves in those meetings. So, if you listen closely, you will pick up whether or not something is truly for you. So I sat down in that meeting and, I said to them, and I always say this in almost all of my meetings, I'd be happy to look at a contract. Now, I know that considering all the things I just said right now, why would you want to even see a contract from these people, Nicole? You're looking around at these walls. What's going on? Well, tiny business lesson. You always want to see contracts because it helps you know kind of what are they offering people? What is the structure of the contract? What are the deals that they tend to have? I got it for information. It's really important to me that if you let me into that boardroom, I'm going to gather whatever information I can get, not just for myself, but for my clients. Also, it's very beneficial to understand what people think your going rate is. I've been underestimated my whole life. People are regularly shocked by the way that I show up and what I accomplish because they never saw me coming. And that's perfectly fine because I don't need people to estimate me correctly in order for me to get where I need to go. But it's always very helpful to know, okay, based on the impression of what they knew of my brand, what is it that they thought they were working with? Because then it allows me to kind of position myself accordingly. So that said, that contract does arrive after we leave the meeting and I get all the questions answered. I'm like, oh, thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate you. I'm still gracious because good manners are good manners. And I get back and I get this contract maybe about a week or two later and I read it and gosh, I haven't looked at it in years. I should look at it again just to see for comparison purposes. This contract is, gosh, I don't want to say laughable, but because I understand how they positioned it at the time based on what they saw. And here's the lesson, not based on where I was going. When I tell you right now where you are in your life, it is very possible that you are receiving things that are beneath the calling that you have in your life. You may be in a position right now where when you show up at work, where you are getting the check you're getting, when you drive the car you have, where you have the opportunities that are showing up, it is almost irritating to your spirit because you know that that work is beneath the calling that you have over your life. And I have to tell you that doing that work is not beneath you because sometimes that is the place you are in. But understand that it should not make you question the calling over your life.